All right, Ansible installation. In this video, we're going to show you how to install Ansible. We're going to show you a few different ways you can install it in the way that I prefer, and we're also going to try to clear up some things that people misunderstand. So for Ansible, you need to install it on the control node. So the control node is basically where you run your Ansible commands from. So that could either be like a centralized server, or it could be your desktop or a laptop, or basically wherever you're running Ansible from. Now, Ansible doesn't run as a service or anything. It's just the tools you need to have installed there to run ad hoc commands and to run playbooks and stuff like that. Now, the managed nodes are going to be the systems you're actually connecting to and managing. Those only need to have SSH and Python installed, which they should have installed by default in almost every single case. So you're basically just installing Ansible on the control node where you're running it from. So one other thing to point out is that there are two different packages these days. There is Ansible and there's Ansible Core. Now, just regular Ansible is the batteries included package. I would recommend using that to make things easy for you. And yeah, it's a community package with extra stuff similar to the original Ansible. The original Ansible came with all the modules and stuff you would want to use. Now, Ansible Core is a minimal package and it only includes the built-in modules. So it's basically just not as good. Now, one quick thing I should show you is that if you want to be able to prompt for passwords, I found, at least on the versions of Ubuntu I was using, you need to install a package called SSH Pass first. So this is not needed for Ansible to work if you're using SSH keys like you normally would, but if you want to prompt for a password for either SSH or for sudo, you're going to want to have SSH Pass installed. At least that's what I found. So you can just do this real quick, sudo apt install SSH pass. So one quick package we want to just make sure is installed here. And there we go. We've got that installed. And next thing we're going to want to do is actually just go ahead and install Ansible. Now, this is almost the exact same thing. If we're using Ubuntu, but if you were running Fedora or RHEL, it's the same thing. Just instead of apt, you're going to say DNF. It's basically the same package, Ansible, or Ansible Core, if you wanted that for whatever reason. Now, let's see. So you're going to do, I should have done an apt update before, but generally you do sudo apt update. So you'd run this to update your, repository metadata. Should have done that before installing the last package, but no big deal. All right, anyways, and you're going to say sudo apt install -y Ansible. So just install Ansible like this. So this will install it. Now, if you just swap apt for DNF or yum, it's going to work just as easily on Fedora, RHEL, or CentOS. Now, if you're on Arch Linux, just do a pacman-s, or you could use the other switches to make sure your things are updated on Arch too. There are some other options, but anyways, it's basically just like a normal Arch package. Same package name, it's Ansible on basically all distros, right? So let's go ahead and install this like this. So we're running two commands separated by two ampersands. So updating our package metadata and installing Ansible. So right now it's unpacking it, should be done pretty soon. So once this is done, this is how you can do it. This is the easy way with the package manager. The next thing we're going to try is a pip install, and then we're going to try cloning from GitHub. So there we go. Now, if we want to try this out, we can say Ansible -- version, just to show you the version of Ansible that's installed. And you see here we have Ansible 2.10.8. And so there you go. We have installed Ansible. So next I'm going to show you how to install with pip. So I'm actually going to go ahead and remove this package that I just installed. So we're going to totally purge that from the system. Should be a little bit faster than installing. And there we go. No more Ansible. So next we're going to try pip. So I don't have pip installed on the system because this is a fresh system. So let's go ahead and put pip on there. Python 3 pip. Make sure we have pip. And there you go. So pip install Ansible. So pip is the Python, it's basically a Python package manager. So first we installed with apt, the system package manager. That's how I like to do it, but you can install it with pip. I don't feel like I like to have it tied with my Python installation. I just don't feel like that's the right way to do it, but you can do it like that. Not sure how long this is going to go. This is not the normal way I like to install this, but there we go. All right, so should be installed. Let's give it a shot. Ansible -- version. All right, so what's going on here? I think we just need to exit out of here and reconnect back up. I used to source our environment and get our path working. So now Ansible -- version should work just fine. So there we go. We have Ansible core 2.17.3. So let's go ahead and remove this. So pip uninstall to remove it. And then we're going to try to clone it from GitHub and get it working that way. All right, and there we go. It should be gone. Looks like it's still there. All right, so looks like Ansible has not been removed. So believe the Ansible package itself only contains the modules and stuff, and the actual CLI is in a prerequisite to or dependency of that package. So you actually, if you want to remove it, you need to remove one of these prerequisites, which you would think would have been removed. In any case, let's give this a shot. There we go. Let's remove this. There you go. Ansible is gone. So we've successfully removed Ansible from pip, the pip package for Ansible. So next we're going to go ahead and clone this from GitHub. So you can clone it like this. And if you check the link in the description, I also show you how you can specify an exact version or an exact release you can clone. Anyways, for now, let's just clone the latest. So this is the Ansible GitHub repo. Let's just clone it and pull it down. And there we go. So if you wanted to, so we could have pasted a command like this. You'd specify -b stable 2-17. If you want to get this actual branch, if you want to clone this stable one right here, you can do that if you wanted to. Hit Control-C and skip that command, but you could do that if you want. Or you could just pull down the latest. Now, we've cloned it. You can cd into the Ansible directory here. And there's a file you can source if you're using bash. So you can source the .hacking env setup file. This should set up like your environment variables and stuff. So there we go. We run it. So we can run Ansible. Okay, so Python 3, not Python. So so Ansible's installed, but it's having trouble because it's looking for Python instead of Python 3. And interestingly, there's no Python command on this system. We have a Python 3 command. We definitely have Python in here. So that's an interesting issue with the system. Now, this is the actual Ansible command. I guess we could create a link from Python to Python 3, or we could change what's specified. I wonder if this will work. Ansible require. Whoops. Python 3.10. All right, so there we go. Created a link to Python 3. So Python will just point to Python 3. So now we can use the Python command. So we're going to get out of here. Now I'm going to exit just to make sure things are updated. SSH back into the host. Actually, that shouldn't matter. It's going to search in that directory anyways. I really didn't need to do that, but I can now run Python by itself and get Python 3. So let's try Ansible just by itself. And okay, so we again need to run that hacking. So source, hacking, and setup. And really we should just source this from our bash RC if we want to keep using this. And make sure we're inside the repo, source that, and there we go. Now we should be able to run Ansible. Okay. Requires Python 3 or newer on the controller. Current version 3. Wow, I cannot believe that needs that. So this is why you normally install this using either pip or apt. Use the operating system supplied package. It will make your life a whole lot easier. You can clone it from GitHub if you want, but if you just want to get things done and don't want to mess around with things, just do that stuff. Yeah, I've done an apt update pretty recently. So already at the newest version. Let's just make sure actually. So yeah, it really needs the latest Python for this version of Ansible anyways, the latest pulled down from GitHub. You'll be fine if you just install it as you saw from the operating system repo, but otherwise you need a much newer Python. It's kind of beyond the scope of this. We could just install, I'm sure we could find one and add it to our path. We're not going to be doing that in this video. So yeah, anyways, close enough, but that's how you would, that's basically how you would clone it from GitHub and get it up and running, minus getting Python, the right version of Python. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you is, I may as well show you this from here, but if you wanted to install Python, let's say if you had a managed node, so yeah, last topic, that's how you install it on the controller, all the stuff I showed you already. But let's say if you have a bunch of managed nodes that you want to be able to connect to and manage, but they don't have Python installed on them at all. So you can actually, for Ansible to work, Ansible requires Python. So if the hosts don't have Python, it's like a chicken and the egg thing, and you can't get Python installed using Ansible. So you'd have to install it manually. So say if you want to get stuff, bootstrapped and up and running with Ansible before you actually have Python installed on there, you can actually do that. So there's the raw module. So, whoops, pasting the wrong thing here. So paste this. So Ansible, specify the hosts, specify become, prompt for your passwords if you need that stuff, assuming you need to become and prompt for your passwords. And really this could just be a -b kk. And specify the module, specify the module raw, so we're going to use the raw module. We're going to specify the parameters. This is basically the command to run. Yum install, so this would be for like a Red Hat system. Yum install -y Python 3. Now, if you were on Ubuntu or Debian or something, you just do apt install. Or more likely, well, this is telling it to sudo, so this is going to SSH into the host and sudo. Now, if you for whatever reason happen to have Python missing, but you have passwordless sudo and SSH keys configured, you could do it like this. But the point is, you're using the raw module to install this. The raw module just runs this command just directly over SSH without using any actual Python-based Ansible modules. So you can use raw to install Python on your remote hosts. Once Python's installed, then you can use your normal Ansible modules and use regular Ansible functionality. So there you go. Remember, check the link in the description for commands and examples. Hopefully this was useful. Now, this video is part of a series, so make sure you check out the other videos in this playlist if you want to learn everything. We also put out a ton of other great tech-related content, including Linux and Windows stuff, hardware, software, coding, electronics, Raspberry Pi stuff, robots, 3D printing, networking, and a ton of other stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. It'll make your feed that much more interesting. Also, make sure you hit the bell icon so you actually get a notification when new videos come out. And that's it for today. So, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on that next video.